All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Pasi, as it says on the slide. I'm from Agile Data Engine, product company. Agile Data Engine is a data ops platform for data warehouses and lakehouses. I will talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, actually, although I'm from the technology vendor company, I try to talk as little about technology as possible today. About other stuff, rather. Actually, quite a lot of similar kind of stuff what Nadiem was talking about. Is Nadiem here yet? No. Yeah. So, topic. Basically, topic is about that how to utilize data in the data platform development. So kind of meta type of level type of thing. But before going to that, I will take a kind of detour towards that. And today I'm mostly trying to address the people who are leading the data platform or data platforms or data initiatives in companies. Who is actually identifying themselves in this role? Not much. Not that many of you. But I think there are many consultants and other technology vendors here, so please think from their perspective. I claim that building a data platform or building a data platform is actually not so difficult. We've been building those technology platforms quite a long time already. But building a successful one, it's another topic then. It seems like an almost impossible task for many companies. And unfortunately, many of the data platforms are failing still. You could think that there is already enough experiences and learnings in the data community to make it not happen as kind of failures. But no, still. Or does somebody disagree? Just raise your hand if you disagree that everything is successful always. In the end, the cause of death of a data platform is the lack of trust. Either the data platform is not able to get the trust in the first place, or then it loses it quite quickly. And the right questions to ask are that do you trust your data? Do you trust your data platform? And do you trust your data team? So not just asking that do you trust your data. And I think we kind of understand this or are aware of this happening, but I think we are missing something and kind of not really thinking what it means and how we should change our ways with the data platforms. Well, why the trust is lost? I'm sure that many of you think, of course, data quality or poor data quality or slop data quality or what was that word? And yeah, it is true. That's the kind of the biggest reason for the lack of trust. But it's not so simple, I would say. So it's a bit too vague to talk about just bad data quality. There are many things that kind of are behind that. Of course, poor data quality already happening or created in the source system. That's a big problem. But I think data platform team shouldn't go behind that problem. Data platform team cannot kind of solve this all of this problem, but there are other things that data platform team can have an impact on. What I have seen, at least during the 25 years in the data field, that data platforms they often are very unstable or unreliable. And most of the time it comes from that the data pipelines and data loads are failing all the time or too often. So the kind of the service of the data platform is not consistent from the business point of view. And that's, of course, the bad data quality affects to the failing of the data pipelines, but I would say that it's more about that the data platform is becoming too complex and kind of breaks down just because of that. And the data team cannot anymore kind of keep it like working really. I've been waking up during the nights enough during my career. But there are, of course, I mean, and this causes those errors also in the data platform or in the data and other problems in it. But there are other reasons that are not directly related to data quality as such. It's also that the delivery of the new data products or delivery of changes and fixes to the platform, that's also not consistent quite often. And as we know, business people are quite busy. They easily get frustrated when there are some problems happening. Also, when the data team is building the new solutions. So in the beginning, everything is simple, everything is fast. But when the data platforms grows and becomes more complex, then the problems start to happen. And often it's already kind of too late at that point of time. Then one reason for the lack of trust is just the gap between data team and business. So if these two are not working enough together, the trust is not happening just because of that reason. And then data platform and also data development, what the data team is doing is kind of a black box, especially for business, but also actually for the data team and for those data platform leaders, I would claim. So kind of lots of money is poured in to build the data platform and sometimes feel that nothing is coming out of that. And it's sometimes like what happens in the data team stays in the data team. And I think this data platform should be not just the data team's thing. It should be also kind of the whole organization's asset. And I claim, or based on my experience in the field, is that the biggest reasons are related to that fact that most organizations are not just actively managing the success of their data platform, at least in the right way. Many times I see that data teams are kind of abandoned, and the management style is this laissez-faire. How that's called? Basically, that you do whatever you want, and we just focus on other stuff. And some of the symptoms of the problem is that data teams tend to be too technology focused. So they focus only on building the technical construct, the technical thing, playing around with technologies. And many think still that incorrectly, that the only right way to build a platform is to code it yourself, or even code the tools yourself, because nobody else can do it better. And this is we are in a unique environment, so we need to build our own tools and whatnot. And this often ends up in a situation that the data team is using pretty much all of their time in maintaining those technical components, not data. They don't have enough time for kind of focusing on handling the data, the content of the platform. And also, there tends to be this hero culture in data, so that different people have different kind of jalanjälki, footprint in their kind of doings. And when that one person leaves the team, it can be a catastrophe for the whole data platform service. I've seen that happening many times. And kind of, I think that we don't really kind of see this as a real problem. We are talking about vendor logs all the time, but not about people logs. And what I have seen, these are the bigger problems in our industry. And then we are always looking for a new panacea or a silver bullet technology. I'm not sure if you have noticed, but I think data mesh didn't solve all the problems what we had. And then, I mean, new innovative technologies are often very good, but we are talking too much about those. Like for example, recently we have been talking about this open table formats. Lots of discuss, lots of hype around those. How does it relate to the real purpose of the data platform? Nobody talks about that, those things that affect to that. And then there's a kind of we value short-term results only. So everybody wants those low-hanging fruits. And then when you pick those, then you move on to pick the next one. Then. There's no time to build things in the right way from the beginning. Always time for fixing things and doing over and over again. And then business does not really understand what the data team is doing. I don't know, have you been in a situation that when talking about the next year's budget for the data platform, the business executives ask that how come you still need that much money? Isn't it already ready or finished? It should be already in the maintenance phase, so why this much money? So there's a clear misunderstanding what kind of animal data platform is. So I claim that we should really start leading and managing the success actively of the data platform and also data teams. I'm not talking about like implementing Scrum or SAFe or what other agile methodology or framework, because that I see also happening that, hey, now we have chosen, say now everything, management part is now taken care of. No problem, so let's just focus on technologies then. Or then I'm not talking about micromanaging people with project plans or detailed task lists or arbitrary deadlines or anything like that. So you cannot really, I think that you cannot plan or control your way into success with data platforms. I'm talking quite kind of simple things or even a bit kind of philosophical things that management or leadership, it's basically just creating movement to the right direction. So need to ensure that what is the right direction for the data platform team. And it's much about managing the team's focus on those right things, not kind of things that are waste or are not really adding value to the purpose of the data platform. And also facilitating the collective learning, because everything is all the time changing, and people are changing in the team or teams. You need to all the time kind of make sure that there's a kind of collective understanding about things. And kind of you could think a data platform more as a kind of complex adaptive system than a technical construct. So meaning that it's not just technology, there are people's motivations, there are lots of dimensions related to data what you need to worry about and so it's kind of that it's all difficult to find those clear root and cause relationships with stuff. So I chose a couple of perspectives, what I see as important when managing and leading the success of the data platform. Actually, I mean there are stuff missing from here, but I'm not just chose those three angles. And actually, you could add, for example, this value management what Nadien was talking about here as an own area. Let's go this through quickly. The first one, it's kind of we are quite well aware of these, so kind of the fundamentals will need to be in place when you are starting data initiative. You need to know what you are about to implement. Implement the data platform just for certain business use cases, or then you are building a capability that should solve all the known and unknown requirements. And of course, there should be a committed executive sponsor in the leadership team, not just kind of lip service type of person. So somebody who really owns the business case and understands it. There needs to be champions in the business side of things. So who's kind of leading the cooperation with the data team. And especially these people are kind of the metrics for the trust. So if they start losing trust for some reason, then you need to do something. And of course, adequate budget needs to be available. And also the budgeting model should fit the goal of the data platform in your case. But then something that I kind of see that it's missing often. you need to start from the right angle already, so that you have a right mindset to the stuff of what you are doing. So first of all, many still think that data platform is just an application. That you should deal it like an application. It's more a supply chain or continuous service of data products. And then, related to this is that it's never, data platform is never ready. It's all the time changing. It's all the time evolving, and that's the nature of it. And the team needs to understand long-term importance as well, not just the short-term results. Both are important, obviously, but this long-term is often just forgotten. And the platform needs to be designed for change, because change is all the time happening. And it's not just that, okay, now some changes and now we need to make a correction somewhere. It's the whole purpose of that data platform. And you should focus on improving the flow of work all the time, and also standardization. For example, adaptive data modeling methodology is an important tool for that. And also continuous delivery. So all the time deploying stuff to production. So very iterative, fast development cycles. And then you need to make sure that data team uses most of their time with business, not technology. So when you are making those buy versus build decisions, you need to know in what company you are, in what industry you are, and do you need to really build a software development team for yourself. And then this continuous improvement mindset and related practices are important right from the beginning. And continuing from that, then you should also start using data and transparency to the data platform for leading the development operations. It's important to create transparency just within the team about the platform, about the work what they are doing. I'm going through just a few examples a bit later on. Then important to kind of introduce some regular reviews, some other learning practices, and you will be using data in those, not just kind of feelings or kind of guesses, but real data about your work. And maybe it's a good idea to also reward your team about continuous improvement and sharing of practices and patterns. Reusability is actually also something that we typically forget. And then leading the long term, so making sure that that long-term aspect is not forgotten with the right kind of metrics, typically kind of flow and stability metrics. I will go through those. And then transparency towards business stakeholders. So go through and show what the data team is doing. Help them to understand the platform and the data team. Agile Data Engine is a platform for building and operating the data warehouse or lakehouse. So here are the key feature areas. So everything except data ingestion and the database. Those you need to have, then other Agile Data Engine handles everything else. And the latest addition to other Agile Data Engine is this Insights module. That's exactly designed for solving these problems what I'm talking about. Let's just take a quick look at a couple of screenshots from Insights. And it's still in a kind of private or public preview phase. We're having pilot customers and we are building the module together with them. So making sure that it really answers to their everyday challenges what they have. There are, for example, this kind of just basic statistics views about the loads, for example, like in this screenshot. So you can see what's the kind of long-term trends of the loads, what kind of changes there are, and what they are related to. You can use different filters to kind of filter this view, and then you can drill down into details to understand why some load is, for example, now taking that much time. And you need to actively all the time together with the team go through, look at these numbers, and then dig down deeper. What are the causes and what we can do to them. Or then same stuff about workflows. Workflows are basically in Agile Data Engine generated based on metadata, the dependencies and the schedule information. Then you can use it for example, to resource optimization. In this case, again, we are talking about loads. So there's a load parallelism there. So you can use this to kind of fine tune that how you can utilize the time better. This is just a very, very, very simple example with the data amount here. So typically our customers have thousands of entities and thousands of loads. And then it's much more important to kind of have a understanding what's happening there. Then we have introduced this kind of our own so-called DataOps index, where we have taken some development practices and operations practices, and also some kind of best practice design practices. We kind of all the time poll how our customers are doing things, so how they are designing and building things, and then we can help them to understand where they can become even better. Then coming back to this managing long-term success, as I said, focusing on the flow of work, like how quickly and easily new data products can be implemented, how quickly changes and fixes can be implemented, or also learning and continuous improvement within the team. And stability of the system is important. And then standardization, how to minimize the dependencies on people and the variance of the solutions. Then maybe some of you have heard about this State of DevOps report or the research program that started like over 10 years ago. Who has heard about that? So it's for the software development, software engineering, DevOps research. So a group of people have been researching yearly that how well companies are doing in this DevOps context. And based on that research, they have found out these 4 metrics, or KPIs. Actually, it's owned by Google nowadays. It used to be an independent research company or something like that, but now it's owned by Google. They had a lot of research and see that these KPIs are the ones that predict the success of the software development team very well. And we have taken these metrics to the data engineering side and noticed that they are working very nicely. We have added the perspective of the data loads because we are working in the data warehousing space. So the failure rate of those and recovery times of those. Deployment frequency, change lead time are this kind of flow metrics, and then the failed deployment recovery time and change failure rate are the stability metrics. I recommend you to take a look at this in more detail as well. And here how it looks like in the Agile Data Engine Insights application. So all of our customers who have these insights in use, they can follow their work with these metrics all the time and take the different time periods. Take a look at how they have done during last 4 weeks or 1 week or last year or so. And all the data behind this is the metadata that is created when our users are using Agile Data Engine. So it's a metadata-based system. And we also provide benchmarks, or we are kind of testing now the benchmark that kind of customers can compare how their peer group is working on from the perspective of these KPIs. And actually those metrics can be then discussed with also those business stakeholders to help them to understand what the data team is actually doing, what they are trying to achieve. But also there's a data product catalog, or we call it data product catalog. So that we can give access to business users into this. Of course, data team themselves are using this, but also for the business stakeholders that they, for the analyst, for example, they can go through that what kind of entities there are, what kind of data products there are in the data warehouse or lakehouse. And there's kind of also release notes So when data team is making changes, then you can see that what kind of changes have been done during the past some period of time. And then more details about each data product or entity, and then data lineage is also found there. I really like this idea of the business lineage actually, so that definitely should be there. It's possible to integrate, for example, Jira to Agile engine, so you can also get the timestamps related to those tasks there. But maybe in the future it's even more closely integrated. We already have lots of timestamps about what we can use for tracking the time between certain kind of phases. So basically, it's about knowing your numbers if you are a data leader or data platform responsible. And it's we have been discussing with the pilot customers that the kind of big basic thing is that they can start asking questions that they haven't really thought of before when they see the data. How come this workflow has been now it's like double the time it used to be? And you can kind of predict that if this continues, then it will cost this much because of the processing time of the cloud platform, or something like that. So, summary. Building and retaining the long-term trust should be the kind of North Star for the data platform team. And stop abandoning your team and start leading and managing actively. Make sure that the data team mindset is right from the beginning, that there are no kind of just heroes who are doing whatever they want. And design your platform for a change from the beginning. And then focus on improving the flow of work and making sure that standard practices are used, for example, with the data modeling. And leading the development operations with transparency and data. And also choose tools that make it easier for you to succeed, not more difficult. Sometimes people forget that as well. Yeah. So we have a kind of a production line out of the box for data warehouse and lake houses. That's kind of what's been our kind of design mindset with our product. So the team can focus on understanding the data, modeling the data, and delivering the data products, not building technology constructs. Thank you.